I love that we're seeing you in this series. Rock is such a special character for so many people. What kind of fan response have you been receiving to her from social media?
I think a lot of people have been so happy to see someone who is not like 45 years old or 30 years old or 20 years old being non-binary and exploring their identity on screen. I've gotten a few texts from parents who have been just so happy to see someone like their children on television and being able to understand that it's something that they can also figure out and talk about and just have more of an open mind about because they're confused, but also their children just need someone to talk to and have in their lives. And I feel like that's something that's really important. It's really beautiful. I get to be a part of that.
Yes, I really love that her family has, I really love that their family, I should say, has embraced Rock's new identity. What kind of response have you received about that as well?
As I just mentioned, a lot of parents have been just very thankful to have someone that they can even see on screen with their favorite characters and their favorite people, being able just to talk about it and be like, oh wow, well, like Charlotte's understanding, maybe I can try and just be there for my child, regardless of if I understand what they're who they are or if I don't, because that's the most important thing, just to be there for them.
We're here in season two now, and I love that they're supportive of their sister to a to a point, with her finding her own identity as well. Talk about the dynamics between these two sisters.
So I think the siblings are kind of very, very sibling like. They're always teasing each other, always fighting, but they do love each other, of course. I mean, I feel like sharing a room is definitely like, you can see where the room becomes rocks and where it ends as and where it stops as lilies and begins as rock. And I think that's a very clear show of their relationship. They love each other so much, but they're very, very different. And I think that Rock is maybe a little bit annoyed by Lily because Lily's older and she has more freedom and more freedom, and Rock is still young, and even though they're still a really cool kid, they're still not, you know they're not Lily, and Lily's kind of like Charlotte's like, oh my god, she still wears fun pretty dresses that I want her to wear, and she still wears all my like floral fun things that I love. She keeps her mural that I got painted for her when she was like 1 years old. And I feel like it's great to have a different two set of different types of people, because I think that makes the relationship just that much stronger.
I think it's such a special relationship the two of them have because they are a sounding board for each other since they're so close in age. Um, and last week's episode was pretty special, I think, in that way. Are there other episodes or maybe memorable moments to come this season that you can tease?
I'm trying to think. I think there's not so many more bonding moments between um, Rock and Lily in this season. I think they're just being their old selves, being Rock and Lily as they always are. But I think you do get to see um, Rock being a younger kid than Lily is, and I think they showcase that off for sure. And you'll see what I mean by that soon. But I also think there's a lot of bonding around Charlotte's new arc, which I'm sure you've seen, the new gallery position. Well, possible new gallery position. We don't really know what's going to happen. I think they're kind of going through that experience of not having their mom be at home 24/7 together, along with Harry. So I feel like that's quite something that bonds them together. And I think that's something that also makes them a little bit scared because they like having their mom around to be able to make dinner every single night. And I think it's quite a big change. And Rock, especially, is a little bit surprised by that.
It's such a special series, and people continue to truly embrace it. What do you think it is about and just like that just continues to make this show so special and so beloved?
I think it's the female friendships that really, really tie the show together. I think it's how you see different types of people doing different types of things, but they still love each other so much and they have the funniest things to say around the table. I think their day drinking is one thing that I think a lot of people find funny. Ordering vodka with a straw at a restaurant from like Lisa Todd Wexley does, I think, makes them laugh. And I think it's the dynamic of friends in the city who all have their own personal problems, but just love each other so much and are always happy to give each other advice, I think is what really ties you in, because your friend's advice and your friend's gossip might be a little bit more boring than the how many, well, sometimes it's the four people at the table, because normally there's four.
Yes, it can be flexible. Sometimes it's two, sometimes it can be five, depending on the friend group at that, gathering, this particular gathering.
Sometimes stepping in, sometimes it's SEMA, sometimes it's LTW. But it changes around a little.
What have the other projects been that you've been busy working on lately?
So there's a movie called Maestro, which is about Leonard Bernstein. It's a biopic set in actually set, I think, in quite a few decades of time, over the 20th century. And it stars Bradley Cooper and Maya Hawke and Carey Mulligan and a bunch of other people. And I get to play Leonard Bernstein's youngest girl, Nina Bernstein. And also, it's really cool because I get to play the older version of Bradley Cooper's daughter. And I think that was really special because when I got the offer for the part, I got to meet her as well, because it was kind of like, oh, by the way, like she's going to be you when you're younger. And that was just really cute. And I'm so, so happy I got to be a part of that. It was really a very beautiful shoot as well. I got to film in upstate New York, and no, in Connecticut. I think only Connecticut, actually. I take it back, in Connecticut. Um, and some really beautiful places. I got to film in a house at Rye and in Leonard Bernstein's original home, which was really, really beautiful. And I think I'm very, very lucky to be a part of that project.
What would you like to say then to everyone who are fans and supporters of the wonderful work you do, whether with this particular series or whether it's the wonderful work you do on the big screen for us?
I feel like just a huge thank you for just even supporting my work, because I always love what I do. It's why I do it, and I'm really glad that people get to watch what I love to do and love it as well. And if it makes them happy, it makes me happy. Because even movies like Old, where I was like 11, people watch that at home and they're like, "Oh my God, this was such a fun movie," and they'll like Instagram DM me, and I'll always be like, that's just so great, because I love hearing when people love what I'm in, because I had so much fun filming it. So I'm glad that you guys had fun watching it. And I'm always very, very happy to hear.